Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamac, this is a dragon. As you can see, this is Refracted Ding Long. In between episodes, I've had a look at some of his important passives and buffs. So, encounter start, head gains shield equal to its max HP. Doesn't lose shield at turn end. When the shield is broken, enter a new phase. Encounter start, gain 3 flower bearing pins, gain 1 next turn, gain 1 more every time Thundering Wrath triggers. The inverted scale takes damage only from skills that it is the main target of. Does not take damage from any other sources. When hit, remove the inverted scale part from skill slots. Gain offense level up and defense level down for every flower bearing pin stack consumed by Wrath of the Inverted Scale. So that's interesting. Gain extra flower bearing pins for all the times we've hit the inverted scale. Now here's the thing. In Library of Ruiner, there is a boss that has a very specific skill called Inverted Scale. It gives a massive defense and power boost, but the boss also has something called Power Null, which removes all of the bonuses from strength and endurance buffs, and all of the penalties from Enfeeble, and I forget what the defense version was, but the point was that you timed your fights against the inverted scale so that the boss can only buff themselves on turns where the buff is negated. This wasn't always the case. At one point, the boss would receive buffs regardless of whether Power Null was in effect. But the point is, I see Inverted Scale, I think, I have to fight that, but it's also going to make my life very unpleasant to do so. Dragon Scale, unaffected by Haste and Bind. Take less damage from Burn, Bleed, Tremor, Rupture, and Sinking, and reduced stagger threshold raised. And at 10 clashes against the same enemy, randomly gain or lose power. Lose stack when taking damage due to flower bearing pin. 10% more for every stack lost. Thanks to Ring Forced, there's a Gluttony and Slash resist penalty. Flower bearing pin, gain offense level and defense level for every 2 stacks. At 5 stacks, gain a final power. At max stack, gain coin power. When consuming these pins, gain an ego resource of least owned affinity for every stack consumed. So long story short, we want to beat on that scale, but here's the thing. This is the attack of the scale. Only when the inverted scale part is hit as the main target. Consume all flower bearing pin on self, reuse the final coin, number of stacks consumed times 5 times. So simply reaching 5 flower bearing pins, final power plus 1, is going to hurt. Deal 5 SP damage. Upon killing the target, apply Unfocused Volley. This coin applies only to the main target. If the Unfocused Volley is applied, it damages all targets. Gross! It has 7 weight. 11 flesh, Roar of the Dragon, Descending Pin, gain base power for every 2 flower bearing pins it has. If target is bind and paralyzed, gain base power. Spawn flower bearing pin next turn. If it loses, it does not, and it takes fixed damage. But heal SP, inflict rupture and rupture count, etc, etc. Apply Capricious Mercy on the target, gain min and max speed, gain clash power, but when hit, expire at skill end of the skill that hit. And then we have 2 hidden skills that we don't know what they are, but they're probably going to hurt. Sure, I could use some Capricious Mercy. So if I do this, then it takes away his pins, so he loses the base power on these skills.
불가
시비스럽게 나와
막아내지 못하리.
이 앞에 숨쉬는 자 토끼를 뽑다 저 해충들을 도려내라.
It strikes me that we aren't going to get much use out of that death mark though. The fact that it drains 5 SP on the very first hit is not ideal.
숨통 끊기. 무상한 목숨. 불끈을 지원해.
We're already in so many pieces from this nonsense. Gathering rain, descending pin, etc., etc. Base power for all the flower bearing pins. If it has 5+, gain coin power and attack weight. Clash lose, deal way less damage. Inflict 3 rupture. Inflict 3 rupture. At 5 flower bearing pin, reuse this coin. On hit without cracking. Oh good gravy, it gets the reuse whether it has, even when it's cracked. That's awful. And it's gonna hit you with a lot of rupture. Oh great. Honestly, having Yi Sang take that was a mistake. That's particularly bad, though.
불가 이야 막아내지 못해. 처음으로 숨통이 튀었던 순간을 기억하나요? 자, 지금부터.
Sigh.
재밌잖아. 모든 것에 견뎠어.
What am I supposed to do when they do shit like that? I ask you. When hit by Yinglong's Leavenfall, die instantly apply Flower Bearing Pin on Yinglong. Which one's Leavenfall? An unclashable target fixed. If Flower Bearing Pin is destroyed, cancel the skill. I really can't do anything about this, can I? At best, Forced is going to get involved. I don't like how he's just throwing a lot of attack weight around. $60 damage, huh? I think I can trust Hong Lu to get the kill, but at the same time... Yeah, that's the problem. He might not roll full power.
여기 숨어 있었네요.
Wow, I made a very good call there.
모험하군.
But I kind of really hate this. Because so many people are getting staggered now, I can't do anything about it. Oh yeah, we have enough rupture, but we don't have any SP. If we had gotten envy earlier.
불가 위야 나가지 못해
쓸데없는 관심 필요 없다.
Like, what am I supposed to do against that? I can do better.
하나씩 차근차근 그어서 되갚아보죠.
This early round isn't that important. The actual goal should be to try and get 3 envy resources up and running in time for the next round.
퍼레이드와 피날레. 따스한 피. 합격장. 점 찍었네. 이제 한 사람의 상황을 보니까 24개. 예술적이네요.
We have our 3 envy resources, okay. Gluttony slash on the first. Envy slash on the second. Pride slash on the third. And then we'll trigger, and then we'll have 5 lust resources, which isn't enough to kick in anyone's passives, but still.
인간.
Oh, if he just rolled 2 heads, but we're so low on SP. Oh right, I wouldn't have been able to get staggered with Gregor on that round, would I? Because Gregor's a... what's it? It deals no damage. Okay, let's try this one again. But I think I want to reorganize my team. Heathcliff is not good for this. Heathcliff loses SP on Clash Lose, and that's just very destructive for us. Unless I plan on retreating him on turn 1.
어디서?
잠깐.
주군께서 모의를 뿌리셨으니 주군께서 형님과 누님들은 좀 채울까?
I feel like one of these might want to be a House of Spiders team, though. That gives us Capricious Mercy, but... Okay, let's try Tarnished Blood's Ascent here. It hurts in return, but I want to save his Answer Me Heisho packs for later on. I'm gonna throw away all the lust that I built up. Go figure. But we can get a guaranteed win on this Flower Descending pin. On the downside, it means that we have absolutely no Wrath now. No, wait. This order. That'll trigger Forced Assist Defense. She isn't going to get stacks of her Starblade yet, but it is nice to give myself an extra shot, even if I'm wasting someone else's turn to do it.
숨통 끊기.
An important thing is, the boss doesn't care about bind, so Resert Desire's passive means nothing here. The goal here is just that offense down and paralyze.
쪽방이 아닐 텐데. 모든 것에 견뎠어.
Gathering Rain, gain base power. Capricious Mercy, when hit. But we have the Envy, that's the important part. We have enough Envy to get 10 SP healing per turn. That's all we need.
자, 시비 속인 쪽에서 잘
No,
생각해봐.
damn it!
살려버리지 마라.
I've really wanted that.
저주를 도려내라. 묘여, 길을 열어라. 이봐, 버틸 자신 있어?
물 넘고 꺾고 제철.
Okay, Ishmael does count. We're fine there. Now here's the question, do I want to save this for before or for after? Okay, hear me out on this. Actually, I'm worried that Honglu is actually going to end up chasing off Forced, so hear me out on this. If we fail the clash, then we get rid of the rupture. Then we get rid of the rupture anyway.
일기당천.
흐름을 따라 달려가면 역시 여기 숨어 있었네요.
Oh, that bad. Did I forget to hit the inverted scale? I'm worried I might have forgotten to hit the inverted scale.
눈부시지 않고 두려워하지 마. 모든 것에 견뎠어.
I forgot to hit the inverted scale. Gain base power for every flower-bearing pin. Consume all flower-bearing pin. I think we have to destroy that. And then Force should... No, wait, Force isn't going to intercept this because it's not... Wow, we're really having a bad time with our aim.
흐름을 따라 달려가면 역시 여기 숨어 있었네요.
무상한 목숨. 불끈에게 지원했고
깔끔하게 물었군. 모든 것에 견뎠어.
Okay. We need 2 more to get our Thoracalgia up and running.
시간 끌 것 없이
Oh, that's really bad.
저 해충들을 도려내라. 물러나라. 적을 물어뜯고 너의 쓸모를 보여라.
We don't have enough sloth resources. Yikes. She's already weak to wrath, so... Force is going to get her assist attack off. That's important to keep in mind.
시간 끌 것 없이 모두를 지워버리죠.
Please stop! This one is not going well, even though I'm using the Heisho packs. Apply defense level power up to allies. Prioritizing allies that have you assist defenses. Two allies will get defense power up.
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 지워버리죠.
Actually, let me try something different. I've been hitting it with the fastest flower bearing pin. What if I hit it with the slowest?
자, 12수에게 부족했지. 잘 생각해보라고. 숨쉬는 자, 누구나 살게 보내지 마라.
환락에 삼켜지기 전에
피를 붓다. 저 해충들을 도려내라. 묘여, 길을 열어라.
Oh, that's why you don't hit him with tails, because then he hits everyone else. And you lose your capricious mercy.
일기당천.
숨통 끊기.
물넘고 꺾고 제쳐라.
At -5. Wow.
무상한 목숨. 불끈에 지원했군.
눈부시지 않도록 두려워하지.
She has bind, which is why it's hitting her with that.
흑수미 뒷박질 춤.
틈틈.
Man, section 1 is taking all my time now.
이봐, 버틸 자신 있어?
모든 것에 견뎠어.
Unaffected by haste and bind. I don't get why it has to be unaffected by haste and bind. That comes off as weird to me. We aren't going to get our sloth back, are we? So then we can paralyze you so that 2 of your coins are paralyzed there. We won't need the extra mileage with Ishmael, unfortunately. It's all boiling down to how well Force does, I guess.
헤어내리.
처음으로 숨통이 튀었던 순간을 기억합니다. 잠깐, 지금이군요.
이봐, 버틸 자신 있어?
내가 찾은 나만의 항해 방식.
It just keeps getting worse.
불필요한 관심은 사양하죠. 저는 조용한 게 좋아서요.
That should trigger Forced. And she is ready for her ultimate skill, so we're kind of okay there.
불가 위험 막아내지 못하리.
저 행성들 해충들을 도려내라.
I hate it so much!
쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
모든 것에 적을 물어뜯고 너의 쓸모를 보여라.
I'm going to leave this for forced intercept. It might not be the best idea, but it's the best I can come up with.
흑수며 뜀박질춤.
도끼를 펴라. 저 해충들을 도려내라.
숨통 끊기.
묘에 길을 열라.
Oh. That's the shield depleted. One, two, three, four, five, six versus R7. Unclashable. This skill does not hit an enemy. Do not hit that forced. Gotcha. Although she is... Wait a minute. Hongyu. Refracted Hongyu Crimson Jade. Gain 300% of the core's max HP. Does not trigger attack skills when equipped. When staggered, recover from stagger. When hit, apply Dragon Spirit on the attacker. On death, apply Dragon Spirit on all sinners. When this unit takes damage, that brings it down to 0. It does not drop below 1 for the turn. Recover from stagger. This unit cannot be staggered or killed due to damage, using Pale Self Purity to purge at the very end of that turn. This cannot be subject to healing or assist defense. Take damage only from skills that this unit is the main target of. Does not take damage from any other sources. Gotcha! I honestly can't tell if I want to nuke him down immediately or what.
시간 끌 것 없이 모두를 지워버리죠.
저 해충들을 도려내라.
이 파도 속에서 움직일 수 있는 오직 깨어져라! 그래요. 그렇게 가만히 있어요. 상처는 고기는 맛없으니까.
이 검은, 이 명예는, 이 영광은 이빨이지. 밤을 튼
끝내지.
물러나라. 네 목숨 하나 적을 물어뜯고 너의 쓸모를 보여라.
Impale the self, impurity to pure. If Crimson Jade is at 1 HP, deals 0 damage. Attack end, this unit dies. Dragon Spirit take less damage. Darn it, Forced is the one that backed off. Hang on, who are you hitting? You are hitting Honglu, which means Lord's Guard. Gotcha. We can work with that.
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 지워.
Right. Okay, how come their assist attacks went off before mine?
역시 여기 숨어 있었네요.
그림자 속으로 가라앉게.
Great.
명에 따라 홍원을 지켜라.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
적을 물어뜯고 너의 쓸모를 보여라.
목이 빠지는 줄 알았네. 자축이야!
Man, I hate that.
베어내리.
결정 염화!
쓸데없는 관심 필요 없다. 숨통 끊기.
이봐, 버틸 자신 있어?
적을 물어뜯고 너의 쓸모를 보여라.
If there is backup unit, have them use your will guide my blade, huh? Wow, that's really annoying the hordes there. We just had to be in a speed tide, didn't we? I don't have anyone that can beat him because he's...
흑수묘 뒷박자 준비.
최근엔 좋았어.
승리를 위해서라면
놈 쪼아먹었다. 다음.
자, 차디, 나를 따라해 보는 거야. 짜잔.
Yep. What can we do against that?
재밌잖아.
뭐하고
뭘 위해 지금까지.
저 불사자. 진짜 죽는 줄 알았다. 아?
날개를 펼치고 발톱을 걸어. 혈압도 바로. 혈압도 바로. 적을 물어뜯고 너의 쓸모를 보여라.
서지마. 죽여버린다.
끝내지.
I'm so glad to see that the game decided that they should make sure that Lord Hong lose the Pekatula version to do what it's supposed to, but not the one that the players get, because I swear Tears of the Tarnished Blood doesn't work for him. The Dragon's Wedge. Combat start, gain a flower bearing wedge. Clash lose, cancel the combat start effect, gain 3 defense power up next turn. Why is the defense level so high? Wrath of the Inverted Scale, Flower Bearing Pin. So this one has become a clashable, it looks like. Cannot be killed as long as Flower Bearing Wedge isn't broken. But maybe it's not even a counter, maybe it's just a standard clash.
접세와!
That was a really bad time to do that!
연화!
Oh good! This is garbage.
적을 물어뜯고 너의 쓸모를 보여라.
접세와!
물 넘고 꺾고 제쳐.
이 불 또한 예술의 황홀경치.
다음 세상으로 넘어가려면 참 여기구나. 너는 못 따라나.
Tides born of Dragon Tears. Until this skill ends, this unit cannot be staggered. Flash lose, gain fragile until next turn. Skill end, reduce flower bearing stack wedge to 1. Can clash regardless of speed. Rolls of 15. Oh boy. Clash lose, deal way less damage, but if flower stack is at max, it is not at max at least. Inflict 2 Dragon's Blood. Take extra damage per potency. Cannot be staggered. Lose count when using a defense skill, double potency, and lose 1 count. This can be removed only by reducing count to 0.
색색이 황홀하고 아예 기억 못하게 하려는 길이구려. 말로 받아내라. 저 해주들을 도려내. 물론고 꺾고 제쳐라. 오여 길을 열어라. All paths become breakable and severable. They regenerate in 3 turns with 30% HP. When inverted scale part is broken, Thundering Wrath does not activate. While head is broken, all paths gain fragile. Doesn't say anything about what it's doing with that ultimate attack. Kyle's born of Dragon Tears, or Tide's born of it, rather.
대중, 그대가 이루고 싶은 소원 무엇인가?
혈염도 바로
That flowering or burying wedge is so beefy though.
이 불 또한 예술의 황홀 경치.
I really don't have any form of HP healing left. No, wait, I have this. $2,253. Great. Just grandiose. Leave one hit for forced.
넘고 무수히 넘고 얼마든지 또 제쳐라.
숨통 끊기.
결정 영화. 대천하 개만한다.
어지러지랄 테지.
나무와 함께 베어 넘겨드리죠. 겹겹의 중문 뚫어보이겠어.
Okay, here we go. It's broken. We need to throw everything we have at this thing. Commanding Cry, Clash Power and Defense Level.
날개를 펼치고 발동을 걸어.
What killed Mersault though? I don't remember anything hitting him that would have killed him. Flower-bearing wedge is down to 1109. He doesn't have bind, he's just really unlucky, it looks like.
흑수묘 김박제춤
You see what the problem is? At some point, they are just going to get stupidly lucky.
해충들을 보여내라. 이어 길을 열어.
I know that someone's staggered, and I have no idea who it is, and I just have this feeling in my gut that it's going to screw me over in any minute now.
모든 것을 견뎠어.
Lose a count when using a defense skill, I see. $364. I think we can do it this turn though.
넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
Attack weight. This skill deals 0 damage and the encounter. If the shield is broken, proceed to the next turn instead and face a unique choice. Shield is broken, huh? Honestly, work.
일기당천.
흐름을 따라 달려가면 역시 여기 숨어 있었네요.
We managed to peel off the strands of red thread wrapped around the abnormality. How should we proceed? Sever the soot. In the encounter against the butterfly, in section 5, disable the past passive. When hit by a sinner, inflict burn and burn count. Disable the second effect. In gain final power and final coin inflicts SP damage on hit. Inflicts HP healing down and wrath fragility on sinners who have enough burn. I want to get rid of SP damage. I think if we manage to break it each three times, then we'll get a chance to sever all of these. The illusion disperses, disappearing into the past. I feel like that one is particularly dirty because once you get inside the dragon, you have to deal with what am I saying? On the inside of the dragon, you have to deal with Pekatula, which are a really frustrating fight, especially since there's no real way to stop them from getting off Tears of the Tarnished Blood on Honglu. But then there's also, where am I going with it? And then the fight itself is already really hard, so it's a really difficult fight wedged in between difficult fights. Refracted Will You Play? Oh boy, it's gonna be middle. And then Distorted Ohnheim. And then we have the Illusory Butterfly. Okay, anyhow, yeah. As much of a mess that is, we did get through, so all we can do is hope that what comes next isn't going to break us in half. Until next time, guys, take care. I'll see you all around.